Hi everybody, welcome to another online class for everybody. Our class today is about everybody's favorite topics, feelings. All of us have feelings, and today we're going to talk about the importance of identifying our feelings. All right, so as I said, there are many types of feelings. We have some images here. You might recognize them from the Mr. Men or Little Miss series that I remember from my childhood. Anyways, so this person here, she's feeling a little bit stubborn, perhaps. This guy here, he's got his tongue stuck out, right? He's feeling a little bit defiant, maybe a little bit angry. This guy right here, he's probably feeling a little bit worried, maybe a little nauseous even. This woman person here, she's feeling a little bit curious. This one here, maybe a little bit shy. And our last one over here, this one with the big giant smile, is feeling a little cheerful, a little bit fun-loving, right? So those are just some examples of feelings. There is many feelings we can all have. All right, identifying our feelings. So identifying your feelings is important. And how do we do it? How do we identify how we're feeling, right? We might not always know how we're feeling, but how do we identify how we are feeling? Well, there's 3 basic steps to it, and that's what we're going to go over today in this quick PowerPoint. Step 1, recognize it. Okay, so you want to recognize that you have feelings and recognize and think about what you actually are feeling. We don't always know what we're feeling, but we can think about it and try and figure it out. So this young lad here, he's thinking about how am I feeling right now? And he's thinking of the different possibilities that he might be thinking of, right? So over here, he might be thinking, this person with a smile, he says, hey, I might be feeling pretty good. Or I might be feeling just so-so. Or I might be feeling pretty negative, right? I could be feeling kind of angry. How am I feeling? Judging by this young lad's smile here, he's probably feeling pretty good. I'd probably put him in this category here. All right, so how do you do it? You look at think about like some of what your body's doing, right? So if you notice that you're sweating a lot, maybe, and your heart's beating, right? So then you might think about it and say, hey, I'm feeling kind of nervous, right? Or you think, hey, I seem to have lots of energy today. I can do all sorts of things. You might be feeling happy, right? Or if you feel like your heart's beating, your muscles are tense, you're snapping at people a lot, you could recognize, hey, I'm feeling angry, right? So it's really looking at your body cues and what's going on and how you're feeling. And then that will tell you what feeling you're having right now. Step 2, name it. So once you've figured out what you're feeling, what your body's telling you you're feeling, you want to name it. You want to concretely say what that feeling is. So over here, I'm feeling nervous, right? So some of the signs of being nervous, right? You notice that maybe you're sweating, you got sweaty palms, maybe your heart's beating a lot. So those are all signs that you might be nervous. So acknowledge it. Say, I'm feeling nervous. Step 3, discuss it. So once you've decided what your feelings are, it's important to talk about them with other people in your life. All right, so for example, this person here, you're running into your friends and says, I'm feeling nervous. So your friend says, how can we help? Right. So this is a very basic conversation, but that's how it should go, right? If you let others know how they're feeling, they're generally going to try and help you out. All right, so for example, we'll go over a few of these feelings and what might bring these types of feelings on. Feeling nervous. Why would you feel nervous? What might bring this about? Doctor's appointments, right? A lot of us don't enjoy going to the doctor. Sometimes we get bad news. Sometimes they give us needles. Sometimes they tell us what we don't want to be told, right? To maybe eat better, things like that. It's very common to be nervous about doctor's appointments. Especially if you have a young doctor like this fella right here, Doogie Howser, if you're of a certain age and remember the show. But he was a fine doctor. If you ever got Doogie Howser as a doctor, you'd be in good hands. So try not to be too nervous if he shows up at your appointment. All right. Another reason you might be feeling nervous is possibly if you're hearing voices. So this young lady here, I'm not going to read over all the words, but there's a lot of negative things going on in her voice right now, right? So if she's hearing voices telling her all of these things about herself, it's definitely not. She's not going to be super confident in dealing with the day in front of her, and she's going to be a little bit nervous. Another reason to feel nervous is change, right? So change is hard for many of us. Some of the big changes, moving is a big one. So when you're moving to a new place, that's a big change. As you see in this picture, they hired a company, 2 men and a truck. You should always hire alternative moving solutions for your moves. Would take away a lot of the nervousness, but seriously though, moving is a big change, and it's hard for everybody. It's one of the big life stressors, right? So even if you're moving to a place that you think is going to be better than where you are now, it's still stressful. The process of packing up all your belongings and everything and setting up a new place is very stressful for everybody. Another thing that might be stressful is getting a new staff, right? So you're going to have a new staff. You don't know what this person's like. Are they going to be nice? Are they going to listen to me? Are they going to get along with me? So that can be quite stressful. Are they going to insist on shaking my hand, without washing? This is obviously a picture before COVID. So this didn't get the memo that handshakings aren't allowed anymore, but hopefully they'll come back one day. All right. But yeah, new staff, new people in your life is definitely a stressor. And yeah, it's normal to feel nervous at these times. So it's important to know why you're feeling nervous, right? And these kind of things can bring on feelings of nervousness. Another possible feeling that you might feel sometimes is angry. Anger is a normal emotion. All of us have it. All of us feel it. So what might bring about feelings of anger? Not enough sleep. So this is one that you can hopefully control to a certain degree, right? We know that when we don't get enough sleep, we tend to snap a little quicker, right? Small things that don't frustrate us normally frustrate us way more and may cause us to lash out. So not getting enough sleep is a big contributor to anger, anyways. An argument or a fight, right? So you had an argument with your significant other or your care provider, your sibling, your friend, even a staff. That happens periodically, right? So that's going to make you angry, right? You're angry during the argument, and then once you leave that situation and you go about the next event in your life, you're possibly carrying some of that anger over, right? So that is a common source of anger. Another one that can cause people to feel angry is pain, right? So this woman here, she's got a sore neck, and much like not getting enough sleep, when we're in pain, we tend to snap pretty quick, right? We snap out at others, we will lash out at others. So it definitely contributes to feelings of anger. Another possible feeling that many of us have from time to time, or all of us have from time to time, I should say, is feelings of sadness. So what can bring about feelings of sadness? Being heartbroken, right? So relationships, romantic ones or others, can be very trying, and sometimes they end, right? And when that relationship ends, you can be heartbroken. It's a very sad thing for people and very hard to deal with. And feelings of sadness are common, and most of us will go through this for a certain amount of time when a relationship ends. Being picked on or bullied, right? So this is not a good experience. Anybody who has ever been bullied or picked on knows it is not a good feeling, right? And it really affects your feelings of self-worth. And if you're not feeling good about yourself, you're more likely to feel very sad. Another possible cause for sadness is feeling lonely, right? Humans, we are social creatures. We're designed to be around other people, right? So when we don't have a lot of contacts, when we're kind of by ourselves a lot, or we don't see our friends and our loved ones and family as much as we used to, we can feel lonely. And loneliness leads to sadness, right? And I think this might be particularly appropriate right now when a lot of us have gone throughout this pandemic. We've had a lot more time alone with smaller social networks. We might be at home with only, our housemates, our family at home, or if you live alone, you might even spend a lot of time alone in your apartment or whatever it is, right? So these are very common feelings of loneliness, and we need to be careful with them because if we're feeling lonely, we're likely feeling sad as well. Feeling frustrated. Again, common feeling that all of us get sometimes. So what might bring about some frustration? Doing puzzles or word games. All right. So, some people think it's a relaxing thing, right? Get out the puzzle. So you got this, decided to buy 1,000-piece puzzle to kind of calm yourself down, right? You spread it on the table and you just can't find that piece, right? And the pieces you try, they just don't fit and it makes you very frustrated, right? So that can be a frustrating thing, right? When you're trying to do something, it's not working. Also word games, right? I know I've had lots of experience with this in the literacy classes. I'll often throw in like a word search or a crossword activities. And a lot of people like them. I think most people like them, but a lot of people don't too, right? They get pretty frustrated, particularly with crosswords I found too. When I provide a crossword and people can't do it, they get very frustrated and a little bit angry at me and they'll just not do it. So yeah, so they can be a source of frustration when you can't get them. Having your activities canceled. So let's say you have a respite worker lined up and you got a whole day planned out, right? You're going to go bowling. It's going to be lots of fun. And then after that, you're going to go shopping. Your respite worker has a car, so it's going to be great, right? So they're going to go grocery shopping. You won't have to haul your groceries on a bus. It's going to be way easier, right? So yes, you're all looking forward to this day, and then all of a sudden, boom, your respite worker got sick and they can't show up. So it's been canceled. So this is a very common source of frustration. It's normal to feel frustrated in an instance like this, right? So when this happens, you're likely to feel frustrated. Another common source of frustration, this is one I'm very familiar with, is when your computer's not working, right? So you got a bunch of stuff you will need to do on the computer and it won't log on to the internet or it just won't boot up or something. So technology, when it doesn't work, can be very frustrating, right? Especially maybe if you had something important to do on the computer, maybe pay some bills. All of us, or not all of us, but most of us, pay our bills like online now, right? So virtually. So this kind of stuff can be very frustrating. Feeling excited. So what might cause you to feel excited? Party or celebration. I know birthdays are a big deal for a lot of people, so you might be looking forward to your birthday party or even just attending a friend's party, right? So it's nice to see your friends, maybe dance, eat some pizza, those kind of things, right? So it's normal to feel excited about something like that. What else? Buying lunch. I know a lot of people, look forward to their Friday takeout lunch. That's the day that you get your Big Mac and a large Coke. Something to be excited about. Going on a holiday. This is something that a lot of us are missing right now, but definitely something we look forward to. I know it would be lovely. I know myself, I like getting away sometimes, go swim in some beautiful blue water like this, be on a beach somewhere. It'd be wonderful. So these are normal things that we would get excited about. All right, so talking about our feelings. So why is it so important? Why is it important to talk about our feelings, right? We all have feelings. Why do we need to talk about them? All right, it helps people around us understand what's going on, right? So as I said, everybody has feelings, but none of us are mind readers, right? So it's kind of hard for us to know what someone else is feeling, right? We can take some cues from the way they're acting sometimes, right? So if, for example, if you see someone crying, you're probably going to think that person's, well, feeling a little negative and probably sad, right? So you're going to treat them like they're feeling sad. But when someone's sad, they don't always cry, right? Someone can be very sad and not crying at the moment. So how can you figure it out? And it's not always obvious. So if you tell them, it allows staff to provide the right support for us. So this is true for staff, this is true for your care providers, your friends, everybody in your life, right? So if you tell them how you're feeling, they're more likely to support you in a positive way, a way that's appropriate to it, right? So if you have someone come to you and say, I'm feeling sad, right? So you know that's not the time to be teasing them about stuff that you might normally tease them about, or be hard on them, or joke around with them, right? It's more the time that you want to listen to them, maybe give them a hug, if well, maybe that's before the pandemic and stuff, but once we're allowed to hug each other again, maybe you give that person a hug, right? Things like that, right? I often have people show up in my class and say, just so you know, I'm having a really bad day. I didn't sleep last night, so if I'm a bit of a jerk in your class, that's why. I'm like, well, great. Well, thank you for letting me know that, but it doesn't quite excuse you being a jerk in class, but thanks for letting me know that, and we will deal with that as we have to, right? All right. And it will help us to calm down, right? So if we're feeling a little angry or we're feeling a little, agitated, hyper, whatever it is, right? So just telling somebody that that's how you're feeling will help you calm down a bit, right? And you'll have a little discussion, and that person might be, oh, I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Here's what I do when, I'm feeling a little angry. I, take some deep breaths or something, right? So that person might give you some advice, and that might work for you. All right, so in review, we're talking about identifying our feelings. Remember the 3 steps to identifying your feelings. Step 1, recognize the feeling. So think about what your body's telling you. Think about the possible feelings you might have and what you're feeling. So once you figured out what you're feeling, name that feeling. Own it, right? So saying, I'm angry. You know what? Right now I'm very angry. Or right now I'm very nervous. I'm feeling very nervous. So those kind of things. Name the feeling. And finally, discuss the feeling. So the people in your support network, the people in your lives, tell them how you're feeling, right? It will help them know how to support you, right? So discussing our feelings helps others to support us in positive ways, right? So as I was talking about, like if someone's feeling sad, we know we're going to deal with them a little differently than if they're feeling angry, and a little bit more, like if someone's feeling sad, maybe you need to be around them, for example, right? Talk to them, help them feel, let them discuss what they need to. If someone's feeling angry, maybe that's not what you need. Maybe you know that they need some space and they need to be left alone for a little while until they calm down, right? If someone's feeling happy, maybe that's the time that would be like, hey, we've always wanted to, look for an apartment or something, or look for a job, something that one of the goals. Maybe today's the day that we try and do it, right? So 3 very different feelings and 3 very different kind of approaches and things that you might do with someone feeling those ways. All right, that's all I really got for now. So that's the end of our class on identifying our feelings. I'm just going to end off by saying I hope everyone is feeling okay. I'm going to fix that a little bit. I hope everyone is feeling wonderful. But if you're not feeling wonderful, I hope at the very least you're feeling okay. I thank everybody for joining our class today, and I hope you can join more in the future. Thank you very much.